Kanon.
Good morning, and welcome back to the European Ultimate Club Season's Summer Tour live from what you thought was Malmo, but is in fact Lund, just up the road. A slight field change as we get into this second round, into the women's division. Seagulls taking on Dublin Gravity. Here are Seagulls, Seavolt, kicking things off. Oh, and What a second effort there. Unbelievable stuff to keep that one alive. Susan Pennock. But it does get turned over on the next throw. Gravity picks up. Galaney goes around, all the way around to Daly. Nice high release over top of everybody. Claire Galaney gets meters and finds Emily O'Brien on the other side of those meters. The Otter Spirit Circle a little bit too close to that sideline. They should be moved. Gravity bounces. Kavanagh. Galaney over top, and it's picked off by Seavolt, Masha. Maria Seavolt, but goes by Masha. Has led this team for many years. Led one forward, and that one gets knocked away. Gravity will pick up again. Gravity. Trying to matriculate through this zone. It's gone to Irena Serna and right back to Kavanagh. Throw for goal, picked and scored the head spike there. Claire Galaney goes up and taketh away. I thought the defense had a chance to gobble that one up, but no. Gravity get the score, and that's a break to kick things off. Here's another look. Seagulls set to receive again after being broken. A big thanks and shout out to the Seagulls for being very responsive on social media to my request for name pronunciation and information. They've given some very cheeky information, in fact, as they get things going here again from their own end. Buchholz just under the arm, but there was a wobble on that one, and it gets away from Gaillard. But there was a foul on the throw, so the Celia Gaillard turnover does not stand, and the next throw from Buchholz is zipped into the body. Shoots. The young stalwart who shone on the junior stage only a year ago. Juniors, of course, coming up next week. Surprisingly, from Belgium. Okay, maybe not surprisingly. But EYUC action, the under 17s set to be underway from Tuesday onward. Championship games on Saturday of next week, so in a week's time. Shoots! Sends not quite to the end zone, but reception made. On the doorstep here as the spin around goes. Brugner. And goes back, and that one for Leah Buchholz, but goes off the hands and into the ground, and Seagulls can't find their way all the way in. Gravity, on the other hand, try and do it with one throw. The toe drag is enough, or is it? Now they're going to talk about how close that was. Emily O'Brien, the 26-year-old on the receiving end there, has done 2 campaigns with Ireland junior women, 1 with the under 24s and 3 times on the Ireland national senior women's team. A well-decorated national rep. But here the discussion is, was that toe drag in? Of course, if it's on the line, it's out. Here is another look. I think she was on the line. It is not conclusive. We cannot tell with absolute certainty, that's for sure. But yeah, my estimation was out. And that's what they've decided on the field. Woohoo! Look at that foot block, but it's a foul. That was a punt of a foot block. The 54 shirt for Seagulls, or for Gravity, Kate Daly kicked that one away, but got a bit too much of the disc while in hand, or the hand, and that's a foul, so Seagulls will continue. Shoots. Up line, collects. Now the big one goes hanging and does find a way in for the goal. That is the number 27 shirt, Susan Pennack. Home city of Frankfurt, living in Hamburg. The TV journalist with a goal there. And beautiful throw. You may know Susan Pennack as the DJ who was one of the DJs making the party work at Windmill. I was definitely enjoying that party. So, and I did work my way around the channels, so certainly would have enjoyed it. Well done, Susan. Also known in Seagull land as a very creative mind when it comes to coming up with cheers. She does it quickly and efficiently. Masha Seavolt set to pull. Gravity, first O-line possession. Galaney puts one through. And again, this time to Pugh. Bounces off the hands, though, on its way over. And out of bounds. Seavolt will pick up again. She barks out some orders to the team and brings it into play. Winds up, backhand huck. and goes just a little bit too far for a reception. Had sighted DJ Pennack, but was unable to connect. Gravity trying to move the other way now. Chipping up the far sideline, finds some space amidst the wall defense. Kavanagh puts it to the middle. Now to Galaney. Finds space. Wanted to lead, but goes the other way. Nice throw. Claire Pugh finds the 25 shirt. I believe that's Anissa Smith, who should be wearing an 80 shirt, but we'll let it slide. Another look at this throw. Fakes the backhand and spots. Great vision there. Anissa Smith wide open. Thrown to immediately. So Dublin Gravity 2-1 lead early in the game, of course, early with 3 goals scored. Let's have a look at the rankings in the women's division. Gravity and Seagulls neck and neck just outside of the top 16. Seagulls in the 20 spot, Gravity in the 21 spot. This game, all sorts of implications. A big win either way would be fantastic to boost. A big loss could be treacherous to drop. As this disc goes back and forth, wind up by Seagulls, sent back to middle. The expected score here, how close they are, is basically a tie, 14.6 to 15, which of course is not possible, or as Ralph Wiggum would say, unpossible. Gravity. Me fail English, that's impossible. Just for your Simpsons Ralph Wiggum reference to be finished off there. Gravity going sideline to sideline here. Find some space in the middle. A third goal early would be a nice little bit of comfort as Kavanagh finds another reception and pushes it up the line. Kavanagh. Merkin. Puts one to Daly, who goes over top, and then Serna throws it to turf on the outside in. Seagulls need this one. Is that shoots? Whoever it is does shoot and gets the reception. That's the 16 shirt now. And in for a goal. Seagulls tie things up, and as expected, this one's going to be tight, 2 apiece. Seagulls versus Gravity. Here's another look. Nice, immediately delivered backhand. And Seagulls level things 2 apiece early in the contest. Just looking up and down these rosters. Francisca Krebs, the 34-year-old playing in the number 9 jersey for Seagulls, jumps off the roster because, well, over at Alti TV on their YouTube channel, the Best Perspective series that I get to host, today we've released a new episode with Jolie Krebs. I don't believe there's any relation, but very interesting to see. The same last name out on the field today as it is out released on a YouTube channel from the Exist player who's been doing a whole lot of winning lately. Gravity. Dumps one back into the middle. Pute leads one up and over. Then the backhand opened up and sent and knocked away, spiking that one to the ground. Masha was walking to it intently and then turned around to give some instructions before she picked it up, which she's now done. Seavault clearing a lane, getting out of horizontal, and then centering. Seavault winds up, gives the backhand. Receiver, I thought the chase was going to be good, but slowed up at the end does. I think that was Laura Olivieri on the chase. Anissa Smith gives and gets. Now far sideline. Shot for goal. Hanging and one hand grab into head spike. Gravity on the board. 3-2. Freddie Irish. Gravity coach there, totally covered up in true Irish form, wearing a full skin covering hoodie, keeping the Irish skin well covered up as he's exposing the wrist there. Dangerous. There it goes back covered up. Seagulls from their own end. Get things moving in the step through defense. Kate Daly takes it away. Gravity. Give it right back. Now, I often do a style guide uniform comparison. As this one hangs up. Nice take by Schutz. The youngster continues to impress in every way. 60 shirt moves it on. Buchholz shoots almost a goal, and then that one is indeed in. And another goal on the board for the Seagulls. They level things up at 3. And here it is again. Now, going back to my style guide, I think that's Franziska Krebs, but what is difficult is the small numbers on the Seagulls jerseys. So that said, no, that was number 83. I'm now getting a look. Gaia with that last goal. She had one earlier as well. But Style Guide said, I do like that they've got a second number on their jersey. You see it on the sleeve as well. It says Schaefer on the back of her shirt. But my roster definitely calls that Cecilia Gaia. And if I look to see what info the Seagulls themselves provided me, I'll tell you that she was born and raised in England. Traveled 6 hours by German regional train, which is very slow, to attend 2-hour training sessions in Hamburg. And she was at a wedding right before Malmo summer tour, so she's really working hard to make sure she can be here post-wedding. And getting goals, even wearing a Schaefer jersey. As Gravity runs this from the line. Again, 3-3 as per expectation. This one is tight. Early going, given right away. Masha. Ooh, and then given right back with the hand block and a double fist pump celebration. Now, ooh, just through the cup. Give and go. This is the 97 shirt. It does not appear on my roster. Has had multiple touches here. And then the leading throw to, again, who I'm almost certain, yes, now with that close-up, that is Anissa Smith. Even though she's supposed to be wearing an 80 jersey, she does have herself another goal in a 25 jersey. Bing, bang, boom. Anissa Smith. Gravity take the lead. Dubliners over the Hamburgers. You can't call people from Hamburg hamburgers, can you? Hamburgians. It's got to be a hamburger. Did the hamburger come from Hamburg? I would be dumbfounded if it didn't. I mean, I'm Canadian, not American, so I will preempt in saying that. I would imagine most Americans would say, of course, the hamburger came from America. I think there would be some audacity for many of them to say that French fries came from America too, with the oblivious audacity to the name itself of fries from French origin. But, yeah, let us know. What is somebody from Hamburg called? Though I don't have a keen eye on the chat, but still good to let it be known. Seagulls. That's what they might be called, Seagulls. Rotating through the hands around this zone, which has wreaked havoc thus far. The wind-up, then to Schutz. Schutz finds space in the middle. Backhand on point, not in the end zone, though. And mega dump. Oh, travel called. I was gonna say that is a very conservative dump to find an open shot. But with the travel, it makes a lot more sense. Back to Leia Buchholz. And notice Leia Buchholz's new haircut as she sends that backhand to the same place. Are the feet kept? Are the feet kept? She was in, but I thought she jumped to get that. And that is what the trailing defender insists as well. And that will be out because of it. Here's another look. I don't know if she needed to jump, but did. Probably could have dragged those feet. And in any sense, it will go back to the Dubliners. Leanne O'Neill, the 29-year-old from Cork, will pick it up and walk it to the line. Seagulls in match D, but a lot of sag on the handlers as they get themselves a turn, float one in, and then did she? Didn't she? No, did not. It floated amidst defenders. A layout just missed, and now a whole bunch of crossing forearms to indicate the foul called. Here it is, floater. And where's the foul? You see it coming late from the number 60 shirt, who I don't have a rostered name for. But I don't think that 60 got fouled. She's thinking about it and then calls it. She just had somebody step in front of her well prior to any playmaking. Contested foul. I think you got to contest that one. Again, they see it differently on the field, but by my estimation, we get to see that a couple times. That was not a foul. So you know my opinion. Seagulls on the doorstep. Hammer. Love to see a hammer, and that one does connect. That one comes out of Franziska Krebs. And looks like it goes into the hands of a 21 shirt, or is that a... Yes, it is. So that doesn't help. But Krebs with the hammer. So indeed, Krebs getting it done here in Lund, just up the road from Malmö, as well as on the Best Perspective series. And of course, playing in the United States of America. 4-4, still close. Dublin on the reception. Dublin Gravity, of course, take the dump. And this time a more legitimate three-player cup zone out of Seagulls as they lead into a safe space there. And then the big shot comes. Well weighted to the open Smith. Shoveled back and right back to Smith. Always good to look at the same place that just came from. The first step after a throw is one that can often lead into an open space. That time, open step into the end zone. You see the defender peeled off to try and cover somebody else, and Anissa Smith was all alone to take a 5-4 lead, Dublin Gravity over top of the Seagulls. So a close game here, I imagine, doesn't really help either of these two teams jump much. They've still got, Barcelona Sharks, Italian Tequila Boom Boom, and Woof from Bruges ahead of them before they crack into the 16. A one-sided win here would be very handy. Again, there are a few teams here that do find themselves inside that top 16. So chances to knock off or play tight against some teams in the ranking and up your ranking, very much available here at Summer Tour. The Ravi show tomorrow will be very interesting. Wait, it's not called the Ravi show? You mean in or out? Yes. Ravi, the human abacus Vasudevan, does host in or out, and I call it the Ravi show. Picked up by Gravity, chance to break. Shoot for goal and macked out the back of the end zone. Catch your D's, but if you're not, you might as well mack them right the heck out of the end zone, as was done there by the 83 shirt of Cecilia Gaia. Shoots. Goes to the immediate dump. And is asking for somebody, anybody, please. And the windup does go. There were not many options. That zone was very suffocating by Dublin Gravity. And they shoot to the front line. Just about Kate Daly goes backwards and finds Galaney around to Serna. Serna goes to the middle. Quick and low pickup there. Now leading thrower. I thought it was leading, but the cut from the back of the end zone takes it and collects it in the end. And Gravity with another one on the board. That one goes to the number 22 shirt. It's not 27. It is 22. And that makes it 5-4 Dublin, or 6-4. That'll make it a big break there for Dublin Gravity. Indeed, it is the 22 shirt, not on the roster. Potentially Helen Barron. But I'm not sure. I can't be so sure. So timeout taken. I'll take a short break here and be back when they are. Gravity put 2 in a row on the board, and Seagulls are forced into a timeout call. 6-4 scoreline. Gravity in the driver's seat. A beautiful Saturday morning, by the looks of things, in Lund, near Malmo. It's a beautiful one here in Nice, in the south of France as well, where I'm calling the game from remote. Seagull picks up and gets it right back into her hands. The backhand lead through center. Penak doesn't panic and goes back to Seavault. Wind up backhand, and that one looks perfect, even though the catch required a bobble catch. Second effort, the throw was an absolute perler and right on the money. That one to Penak. How did she get upfield so quickly? Another look, bobble, and catch. DJ Penak doesn't panic, just scores goals. There's the pull. Gravity to pick up. 6-5, 1-point lead for Dublin. Sends to the near sideline. Through Galaney. Now to the far sideline. Chisel cut. Working against this German zone. Galaney. Ooh, into the middle. Every other for the 97 shirt in that sequence. And the double team looks to have been called. Boom. Spots an opening. High release backhand, but that's not going to count. Claire Pugh with the disc in hand, but these conversations make me believe that she's going to have to give that back to the 97 shirt. Go on, do it. Yeah, she's done it. Oh, wait. Now, is that a goal indication? Or violation indication? Now it is a goal indication. Wait a minute. Now, what I thought there was a head tap, but that's just a fix of the ponytail. All right, hand signals indicate that is a goal. The most anticlimactic, not the most anticlimactic, but amidst the most anticlimactic I've seen in a while. But Dublin Gravity back on the board, make it 7-5. Here it is again. So Not sure what the call is. If you look at the center of your screen, it's those two that are in discussion. And she may have believed that there was a call or some stoppage. Maybe it was a misheard iteration of sorts. I'm not sure, but she did look over her left shoulder and stopped completely. Maybe recognizing as the conversation went on that it was the fault of her own or one of her teammates for saying something that gave some sort of indication to stop inaccurately. I'm not sure. I can only speculate. I could speculate a lot worse things than that, but I'll leave it at that for now. Masha Seavolt to Pennak. Pennak jacks it to the end zone, but there is no one in the Navy shirt to chase. Oh, and trying to work through the defense now. Seavolt picks up with a very short field. She wants it back, gets it back. And Seagulls with a glorious opportunity here. Can they cash it in? No, they can. Yes, they maybe can. Wow, that one off the hands. And that one boink right off of Pennak. And a series of improbable drops, hops, bounces, and receptions amidst this point, particularly that one. It was there for the taking, but they've now given Gravity another chance and somehow have gotten it back once again. Leading through and another doinker to the ground. Wind up, sent. Two hands, safe. You better be at this stage. Emily O'Brien goes with the super dump. This one legitimate. Find space in the middle. There we go. That's the right direction. Serna goes into the dump space. Leads. Finds Ryan. Ryan goes back to O'Neill. And O'Neill across to Daly. Good movement amidst and around this Seagull zone. Serna. Backhand fake by O'Neill and finds the open receiver for the very light head spike by Claire Galaney. So Gravity will extend here a very, let's say, sloppy point if we talk about it top to bottom. There's the hammer finish. Seagulls had their chances, maintained their chances only just that could have been knocked away and then let themselves down when it came to cashing in. It is halftime. It's 8-5. I'm going to take a short break here, and we will be back with second half action. Seagulls Gravity 8-5 for the Dubliners. There's the pull. And Gravity, after taking a nice lead in the first half, 3-point buffer, will get the disc back and open up with a layout to maintain possession. Another slider to keep it alive here on the first point of the second half. As I was about to mention, they are winning this break race so much and that they've got the breaks going in their favor, and they need a new disc. I thought they were asking for VAR there, but I guess that's the hand signal for a new disc, is to make a circle. Seagulls with a chance to break on the opening possession of the second half, which they could use down a handful of breaks in the first half. I mean, you can always use a break. The Gulls working it around. Krebs in the run-through defender takes care of that one. Gravity with another chance. Leading throw. Pugh goes into the dump space. 97. Leads and finds. Hangs one up, and great collection there. Claire Pugh. Another goal, 9-5. What a way to make a living. If you're Dublin Gravity, you'd think it's all taken and no given. Keep you up to speed on the streaming schedule. Up next, Ranelagh, the top seeds here at this tournament, taking on KFUM or KFUM Örebro. After that, you'll see Gravity back on the pitch, taking on the Copenhagen Hucks. Following that, at this stage, we're at 2:40 local time, 14:40. Freeze Bees from Bruges will be taking on Otso, who we've already seen. And then at 4:05, we'll see Smog taking on these very Seagulls, who have milked one into the end zone. A big shot, well received. Boy, did they need that one. And a big shot is a nice way to do it when you're struggling. Open up the arm. And that one, a throw to Krebs. Will at least keep the defense guessing next time they're on the field, when you can establish the deep game that we've seen a lot of zone. So a little bit less guessing when you've got zone assignments. I believe it's 6-9 now. That pull for Gravity to pick up. And sent to the back of the end zone. Seagulls will pick up. Shoots on her way. Krebs pushes to the near sideline. Back to Krebs. Ooh, works hard for the break off the hands of Shoots, but also the defender. And that one's knocked away. Picked up Gillaney. Hangs one, floats it. Turned and looked forward. Gillaney stretches out the right hand, finds a frisbee. Leads. Gillaney's on an every other. Goes to center. Smith. Pardon me. That was Perias Salvitz. And that one, a throw or two later, gets into goal. Claire Pugh has been eaten up the end zone. 10-6 for Gravity. (10-6) lead. Gravity pouring it on here over the Seagulls. Collection goes to Masha on the first throw and straight back to center. Seavolt leads. Great throw. Great cut into an open space. Hoofnagels goes back to Seavolt. Checks both sides of the mark to throw, then finds in the open. Leading throw, second defender came to help. Well done, Raffenberg. Does lead and panic. The DJ, Panak, cashes in. 7-10. Seagulls staying within striking distance. Here's another look. Raffenberg. See the defense adjusting there. There was all sorts of defenders, and they were just about to get out of that space as Panak came streaking back through towards that scoring corner. So 14 minutes remaining in this game. I might wager that we don't get to 15 in this one. But it is very possible. The pull from Schütz falls out of bounds. Gillaney will take it to the brick mark, even with the aggressive chase coming for the sideline. Gillaney. Dumps and then the lead throw. Power position, even with the change of hand, and somehow comes to reception there. Peryashlovitz with a great catch there. And a call on the field. Everybody's going to have to find their positions from when that call was made, which I would imagine would have been upon release of the throw. Dumped and led forward. And moved on. 67 leads up the line. Gillaney finds a seam, but it is taken away by Laney Schutz, who takes up that lane. There were 2 or 3 gravity attackers who could have run into that had the defense not been around. Lead throw, Seagulls in their own end. Krebs, not Krebs. That's Gaia. Lodi, one chance. No, there's not. It cannot be run under by Krebs. And gravity will pick up. Time out called. 10-7. Gravity with the lead over Seagulls. Short break here. Back with more action very soon. (10-7), and with a chance to take this into Slurpee time. Dublin, recognizing the gravity of the situation, call the timeout to bring this one back into the play. Into play. Gravity. And 2 throws into a possession is turned away. Another one counts as they burn and turn, burn the timeout, turn the disc over. Seagulls. Krebs gets the forward throw, shoots, leads up the line with an outside in. Another outside throw, but this one gets knocked away at the point of reception, and Dublin will earn their possession back. Gilani, high release and a little bit too casual, that one. Floats away. Krebs. Can Seagulls find their way all the way in? Gaia getting through the hands. That one hangs up. Buchholz sends it, and it is knocked away by Gilani. A multi-turnover point here. There's the defense again. Who wants it more? These ones are where the legs start to burn. Gilani will pick it up after she materialized the D. First throw, another turn. Shoots. Krebs. Through Buchholz, and a pick called. Big point. We can't say it enough. These multi-turnover points. When I say we, I mean me. I'm in the booth solo today. But I can't say it enough. The longer the point goes, the more turnovers there are, the more it seems to count for. Of course, it will only ever count for one goal. But to send 14 people off the field totally fatigued and walk away with that goal really does a lot for the ensuing points. Guy out. Goes back. And another turnover. Well, I speculated about 4 minutes ago that we may not see 15 points in this game. The odds are only getting stronger in my favor as this point persists. A zone front, and why wouldn't you be playing zone at this stage? Big throw. That one looks, for a moment, like it would have a chance. It buzzed too far in front of Anissa Smith, though, and another opportunity. Super long field for the Seagulls. Will they consider just getting it out of their end? Or will they try and work it? Right now they are working. Gaia finds the under. And now Buchholz in the middle. Krebs. Shoots inside, and there it is! The point is over. Slurpee time evaded, and the big score margin reduced. Could have been a 4-point lead. Of course, the opposite makes it a 2-point deficit. Big point to take for the Seagulls. What will they do with the momentum they gained on that one with their captain Seabolt on the sideline? A good sign for the Seagulls late in this game. They make it 8-10. 4 minutes remaining. These next few points, very, very important. And here's the bull. Dublin Gravity coming out of their own end. Tight match defense now. First we've seen of a match in just a little bit. There's been a lot of zone. And that one requires a layout and gets it by Irena Serna. Dump back. A little bit of switching lag on the handles, but otherwise still match defense. Looks for the inside to Serna, but not available. A little too far outside, and Seagull picks up and goes to the wide open centering pass. Seagull wants it again. That is often the case in the Seagulls offense. Finds center. Nice underneath cut by Raffenberg. And the next one is corralled into the midsection. Raffenberg. And underthrows that one, and it will stop at almost precisely the midway mark. Picked up. Serna trying to engage, does only just sight the dump. Ryan throws inside, a little bit behind, but nice sticky fingers to seal the throw. And the next throw too far. Another chance. Seagull wants to jack it. And she does. And she jacks it magnificently right into the hands. And I told you that long point counts for more. It's not only because of that, but it certainly helps. And it's 9-10 now. There was a chance to take Slurpee time, 7-11. 9-10 is a much more favorable score if you are the Seagulls and you are fighting for every single point before the Ravi show comes up on Monday. Seagulls staying in this. They are by ever so slightly favorites here. Again, the matchup predicts a 14.6 to 15 score in favor of the Seagulls. Timeout taken. Time will expire amidst this timeout. It will be... Well, you will have to start the next point and finish it and then add one. So it'll either be 11-9 game to 12 or 10-10 universe point game to 11. Can you guess which one I would prefer? By the fact that I whispered it in a very dramatic fashion? Yes, it's right. I would like the universe point. Though I am a non-biased commentator, so I won't say go Seagulls. I wouldn't say that. But somebody who was openly unbiased, or, had a bias, openly biased, might say that in hopes of getting a universe point finish. Just not me. The marathon point went to the Seagulls and then a break. And now it's within one. Can they extend the momentum? For Dublin, hopefully not. As Serna brings it to the line. Nice poach to close the lane, but they do see it prior to the release and get away with a nice throw. Now into the middle. Gravity looking good here. Recycling, finding Galaney. Now into the middle. Shot for goal, too much on it, and chance to tie the game and send it into overtime, double game point, universe point, however you want to call it. There's the throw again by Seagulls. What a throw. And again, Seagulls, calm, cool, collected, was on the sideline during the mega point. Krebs. From their own goal line now. A little bit of pressure on Franke and the Seagulls. Krebs comes down with that one. Very Buchholz goes to Krebs. There are open spaces in this gravity zone. Gaia, backhand floaty to the 90s shirt. Now Krebs quickly moves it and straight back to Krebs. Will it? Won't it? Into the 90s shirt. Look into the end zone, still not in. Gaia goes backwards. Happy to maintain possession. Gaia to 21. 21 looks to break. It does. Buchholz is there. And the predictor, very accurate. Kudos to the algorithm. It is 10-10. Time is expired. What does that mean? That the next point wins. What does that mean? That this is universe point. Can you contain yourself? I barely can. Timeout called. They're going to think about this. I'm going to catch my breath, and we'll be back after this replay and the timeout break for universe point. Look at that throw. What an absolute perler by number 21. Ten game to 11. Live EUCF qualifiers from Lund, which were scheduled to be in Malmö. But in Sweden, it is Seagulls from Hamburg pulling to Dublin Gravity. Seagulls on a 3-point run right now to bring this to Universe Point. Gravity leading throw. Collected in the middle. Dumped and just picked up. Engaging the dump. Delaney trying to cut, but well covered up, and now has to float one. Hat dropped. Disc caught. Backhand fake. Finds space in the middle. Does Daly. Then quickly move to the other side. Meters from that end zone. Can they break their scoring drought? 97 shirt certainly hopes so. Inside break, zip to the back of the end zone. One defender there, but it is Anissa Smith who collects the goods and ends the Seagulls run and puts Dublin Gravity into the win column there. Huge win. A 1-point win, not much, but a win that will propel them likely at least one spot above the Seagulls, who just took a loss, as they played against each other. And they were number 20 and 21 on the ranking. A big game, no matter how you slice it. Every other game that goes with this weekend will be that one. It entirely floated over the whole stack. And Dublin Gravity will get the win. They put in the final point on Universe. So great game from Malma. Thanks for joining us here at the EUF. Have a look there at the Saturday streaming schedule. The top two already in the books. Up next, Ranelagh taking on KFUM. The commentary booth will be unoccupied until the 16:05 game later in the day, but your eyes will be treated to all that action, so don't you go anywhere. Stay with the EUF coverage and make sure that you take in all the action. Of course, on Monday, all of the action coming from here and Birmingham will be compiled and the results distributed to you on In or Out, the Ravi Thasudevan show. So make sure you're aware and ready for that too. My name's Stefan Rapazzo. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll catch you next time.